Well, everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Iron Claw. And this is a new biopic from director-writer Sean Durkin, who working with A24 for this film about the story of the Von Erich wrestling family and the absolute tragedy and curse on this family that led to heartbreak and a lot of loss. And this film blew me away. And I'm a huge pro wrestling fan, so I already knew the story of the Von Erich family and how tragic it is. But that still didn't prepare me for how harrowing, haunting, and just emotional this experience was, watching as this family falls apart, and just the tragedy that is the story of the Von Erich family. This film is so deeply ingrained with experiences of neglect and generational trauma, and just looking at the pressures that parents, in terms of how they raise their children, can make such an impact, and the relationship between Fritz von Erich and his sons and the way that he raised them, and how that shaped this family to not be able to handle the pressure and turning to reckless things like drugs, and just this film balancing the pressures of religion and the pressures of this family to be the greatest pro wrestling family. And Durkin's filmmaking is absolutely breathtaking. From the opening scene, shot in this gorgeous black and white, just set up this experience. And Matisse Erdeli, who the cinematographer, this film is gorgeous. That opening black and white scene too. Everything else is like this grainy 70s kind into 80s kind of haze of this Texas feel. And this feels so vintage in the way that it looks. And Richard Reed Parry's score is haunting and unnerving and just absolutely beautiful. And each scene is layered, and the use of music, whether it's Don't Fear the Reaper with this long tracking shot going into the legendary Sportatorium, and Rush's Tom Sawyer being utilized to show the progression of this family, just the storytelling. There's so many moments of the quiet moments that tell us so much about these characters, and just the visual way that this film, how it's edited and how it's presented, delivering some of the most shocking and brutal moments of the film, and what's happened to these young men in this family. The performances. Zac Efron is giving the best performance of his career. This is incredible what he does as Kevin Von Erich, who's the oldest brother of this living group of Von Erichs, and trying to, reach his heights, and dealing with the jealousy and the rivalry with his brothers, falling in love and being disconnected from his love, played by Lily James, and just how this film is able to capture these performances. Jeremy Allen White as Carrie Von Erich is such a raw performance, and Maura Tierney, who plays their mother, is such a distant kind of presence in their lives, and she has these tragic moments of emotion. Harris Dickinson is very charismatic as David, but Holt McElhaney, who plays Fritz von Erich, gives this towering performance as this complex individual, this abusive and cold father that pushed this life onto his sons and didn't really think of the ramifications of what it would do to them, and then refusing the responsibility of that, what did. And then you have the wrestling scenes that really sell it. Seeing people like Harley Race and Ric Flair, and seeing these matches, the Sheik, actually performed by Chavo Guerrero Jr., who did all the choreography for the wrestling in the film. There's just so many fantastic elements of this film all coming together And this transcends being a biopic. This is a haunting film that takes us on this tragic journey of this family. And at the moment, I think this is my number one film of 2023. It just hit on so many cylinders and just delivered this experience that very few films have made me feel in a long time. But those are my thoughts on The Iron Claw. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.